Ladies and gentlemen, you know how they're replacing Confederate statues or just removing them altogether? Well, they decided to take down Robert E. Lee and put up a statue of Henrietta Lacks. And I don't know how many ways we got to tell these Gentiles we're not into statues like that. That's your thing. A statue of Emmett Till, a statue of Henrietta Lacks. We're not feeling you on that. How about compensating the family of Henrietta Lacks for cells that were stolen from her body? How about that? And you've made billions and billions of dollars off of her cells. That would be the right thing to do. No damn body wants no statue. Man, y'all can take them stash. Woo, you don't want me to tell you what to do with these statues. For real. You really don't want it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you another portrait of Henrietta Lacks that's in the Smithsonian Institute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a portrait of Henrietta Lacks that is in the Smithsonian Institution. And if you saw it, it has right above this portrait, Mother of Modern Medicine. So let's get into this. So they took down old ugly Robert E. Lee, and they're now honoring Henrietta Lacks. You know, I just don't, I'm not feeling the statues, Sorry, America. I'm just not feeling it. So this is being erected in Virginia. And Virginia was the home state for Henrietta Lacks. She lived in Roanoke, Virginia, for those of you that might not have known that. So she was being treated for cervical cancer back in 1951 when doctors took samples without her consent of her cancer cells. Her cancer cells did not die. They continued to multiply and reproduce. And it was something they have never ever seen before. You know why you didn't see that before? Because that came out of the body of a Hebrew woman. That's the only reason why it happened in the first place. Sure didn't happen coming out of any of your Karen bodies. So, anyway, in recent years, the state of Virginia has removed a number of Confederate statues, among them Robert E. Lee in Roanoke, Virginia, which was taken down in 2020. And in its place is a new statue that honors Henrietta Lacks. Lacks was a Roanoke woman who was being treated for cervical cancer in 1951. And I mean, this poor woman, she never got to be a senior citizen. She died so young. What a shame. So, doctors took samples without her consent, and she died later that year in 1951 at the age of 31. Her lines of cells have helped with cancer research and developed many vaccines. Her cells regenerated every 24 hours. Can you imagine that? You died in 1951 and your cells have been regenerating ever since, every 24 hours from 1951 to present day, only from a Hebrew woman. I'm just saying. So anyway, so they removed Robert E. Lee back in 2020. And ladies and gentlemen, her cells regenerated, like I said, every 24 hours. And it was something that was never, ever seen before. Bryce Cobb was the artist that was commissioned to design the Lack statue, ladies and gentlemen. They said it was a very, very long process. I don't know how many pieces of paper I threw away trying to capture what I really wanted to capture in my head. So I'm going to show you the statue, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here's Henrietta Lacks, the statue, and this is her family, her children. As you see, the older people and the younger people in the picture are her grandchildren. You know, this woman didn't even get to see her children grow up. When she died, her children were still little. So she didn't get to see them grow up and have their own children. You know, I saw another portrait because, you know, they did an interview with Oprah, and some of her granddaughters actually look just like her. I don't know if any of you have seen those pictures, but I have. And I was amazed at how many of her granddaughters looked a lot like her black and white pictures. So let me get back to the story. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, the family, they seemed to be happy. Um, and they tried their best to give the sculptor, Larry Betchel, assistance with, you know, family portraits and everything they could find about her. And based on the pictures, he was able to come up with the statue of her. So back to her cells. Now, even though her cells are still used in laboratories, even to this very day, neither she nor her descendants were ever compensated for the theft of her genetic material. Cobb hopes his work will allow the Lax family to reclaim the story of their ancestor and shed new light on the woman she was. Seeing a Black woman in this prominent stance permanently immortalized in this sculpture, which has inspired a lot of people in the community, honestly. So you know, so they're just saying that they think this is way more inspiring for people, especially once you learn who Henrietta Lacks was. You know, she was a wife, she was a mother, and her life was cut short from having cervical cancer, you know, and people during that time of 1951, they died a lot quicker from cancer than you see people today. People today will get cancer and they tend to live a little longer, where back then, you know, from what I understand, she went pretty quickly, you know. So, y'all, please tell me what you think. I just hope the family one day will be compensated. This is the least they can do. All of these big name labs around the world, not just here in the US. Her cells were shared around the entire globe. So you can thank all of these labs that made vaccines and other things from her cells. No, Henrietta Lacks has helped people. Her cells has helped people on a global level. It goes way beyond the US. So, yes, her family should be heavily compensated. I would rather see them compensated than see them erect a statue. but that's me. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.